Check. Is the sound now? We got sound going now? Yeah. Yeah, we do. Okay. I'm, but yeah, the chat right there in the right, I can see it right here, and it pop up right there. It'll pop up on the stream though. Oh, okay. I see it. Okay. Spam them in the chat. But I don't know why I can't see it when I'm looking. Shit, that was with this box, the chat box. Let's see. No, but we still live. We're gonna go for a little second. We're gonna chill. You know, let's tell Dope to tap in. Let's see. I'm live streaming on YouTube right now. See if you can tap in and tell me what you see in our here. What you doing? Can't hear you. Okay, I didn't want to. Oh shit, that fell to sleep. What the? That's crazy. Damn. Hmm. That shit got all my shit on it. But anyway, though, pre-pack hitting, we excited. It's gonna make everybody step their game up. I seen some pre-package already hit. From some companies. I actually seen two. I'm gonna just keep it a buck. I'm not gonna tell you who's the two companies that I seen that pre-package already. But I've seen two so far, and one of them, both of them I just happened to see on the internet. I didn't see them in person. You know, one of them was super basic, very unappealing, black bag, basic letters, sticker showing what it is on the bottom. Uh, shit. The other people I seen, their bag was like the entire bag was like a super close up of like some weed, showing the trike heads and whatever, you know, there's somewhat of a logo and, like different branded, and it looked pretty appealing, like shit. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, like as brands, like shit, I always carry the fresh shit in my store, like just straight up, but like shit, your your packaging is gonna be kind of what sets you apart, you know. Obviously, the good flour is gonna just always, always, always set you apart, you know. But the uh the branding, how you brand yourself, how your packaging is, is gonna make a big difference. I'm sitting here I need to be talking to y'all, like shit is gonna make a difference or whatever, like shit. And like shit, if you had, two competitors, like I said, I just seen the two packagings, and one of them was just super basic, not appealing. They might have had some fire. I don't know. I never smoked that shit before. The other people, I never smoked that shit before neither. I heard their name before. I never heard their name before. But if as a consumer, if I'm looking, on the shelf, and obviously, I can't really see the stuff inside or smell it or whatever the fucking case may be, my next step is gonna be like, okay, the packaging. So if the packaging is nice, like shit, they're gonna be like, yeah, they kind of spend some time on their packaging because they probably have a nice product versus, if it's just super basic and stuff, they may be like, they just put some shit out. You understand what I'm saying? And it can go. The flip side of that is, like some super super classic luxury brands, have simple packaging, like Apple for example, just simple packaging, nothing that's just crazy, but just super high quality type shit. You know what I'm saying? But so we hype for it. We hype for it. We gonna see how it changed the landscape. Y'all give me 1 second. I'm gonna go check some shit out. I don't even got the lights on. All right, yo, we back. We back. Just had to go check on some shit. You know what I'm saying? Uh, but yeah, that's just what I'm saying. So we hype for P package. Like it's crazy though, because a lot of like obviously we put up signs and stuff. Like beginning last month. Letting customers know like, hey, it's gonna be moving to prepackaged. June 1st. Et cetera, et cetera. And all of them were just kind of shocked, like they didn't know nothing about it, even though it was something that was supposed to have been voting on. Like shit. But I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It just seems like the people in Oklahoma are really like uninformed or misinformed, when it comes to their local marijuana scene, you know. I don't know. But like shit, it's a new market, growing pains. Like shit, it is what it is. Respect everybody who's still in the game. You know what I mean? Like I know it's crazy out here. Hold y'all's head and keep going if you can keep going. You know? Like you know what I'm saying? Keep going. You know? This right here. So this right here, I got a oh damn, I should have been recording this shit. I should have been. All right, y'all for real. Like I'm just doing a live thing. I'm gonna have to. I know that there's a OBS thing that will do like the cuts and stuff, like live. To where it look like multiple camera angles. It'll zoom in and all that type stuff. I'm gonna do some research into that and see what's going on with it. But shoot, what I got right here, we got a Cadillac Rainbow. Cadillac Rainbow. let me talk about Cadillac Rainbow for 1 second. Let me talk about Cadillac Rainbow for 1 second. So, Cadillac Rainbow is not necessarily a new strain. I guess it's kind of new. I've been around. I've seen it around, for a little bit. But let me tell you my experience with it. So, I had Cultivar come in, and they had Cadillac Rainbow, and I've never bought from them before, and it smelled super good, but I've never bought from them before, so like shit, I had never smoked none of their stuff, and it smelled really good. I ended up getting a sample of it, and like the smell on it was just really unique, and like I couldn't really put my finger on it. I didn't know the genetics of it. I think I asked him the genetics of it, but he didn't really know. You know, uh, he didn't smoke weed. That's a different story. But anyway, so I get a sample. I'm smelling it. It smells the bomb. I didn't. I'm like, all right, let me just smoke it and see. I didn't bother to look up the genetics or whatever. At one point, I'm like, all right, let me smoke it. So I rolled it up, broke down fine. Smelled better, even better when I rolled it up. Broke it down and rolled it up. But so I smoked it, and the flavor just wasn't really there for me. You know, and if y'all know anything about me and Ganja House, like, bro, I like shit that tastes good. If it don't taste good, I can't even enjoy it. Like, I can't even, I don't even want to smoke it. If I can't, I don't even want to smoke it if that's the case. But so, like, I smoked it, I gave it a chance. I think I smoked the whole thing. Most of the time, if I don't like it, I'll just put that shit out, like, I'm not smoking this. But I think I smoked the whole thing. It was cool. It wasn't something that I would buy, you know, flash forward, some months. So I had one of my cultivars come in, that I buy shit from, quite frequently. They be having some heat, like some heat, bro. Like they be having some heat, you know. So he's like, yeah, bro, I got this Cadillac Rainbow, blah 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 blah. He brought me and was showing me some stuff, not the Cadillac Rainbow, He was like, yeah, bro, it's the one. And I told him about my experience with it. He was like, yeah, bro, nah, it's the one, bro. I'm telling you, like, it's the one, and I'm like, ah, all right, you know, bring it to me. Let me see it, you know? So just so happened, that day that he was coming, I had some other shit to go do. I had ran to go do some other shit. He showed up, you know. Shit, my wife was at the shop, So he shows up, brings my other shit that I for sure wanted, and he has the Cadillac Rainbow. And she calls me. She's like, "Yeah, hey, what you want me to do with this Cadillac Rainbow? You want me to buy it or what?" And I'm like, "Shit." Make the call, OG. I'm like, shit, I don't know. I can't see it. I can't smell it. Make the call. You know? So she like, I'm gonna get it. So shit, she make the call, super good call. Shout out to her. She make the call, she buy it or whatever. So I come back, after I get done running around, I come back, she got the weed there, and so shit, she got the weed there, whatever, so, I get it, I'm doing some other shit, I get it, I open the jar, I smell it, and it has that same smell, it has that same smell, like and I'm like, well, it has the same smell, I don't know if it's gonna hit like that, so I wait a little bit, and I'm ready to smoke it, so I roll it up, and shit, I like that joint. And so now let me tell y'all something, bro. When y'all are tasting weed, this is for y'all critics and y'all do weed tastings and shit. Let me explain something to y'all specifically, bro. When y'all are tasting weed, like shit for me, I'm gonna be able to tell if that shit is on fire within like the first 3 to 5 hits, you know. Not the first hit, probably not the second hit, because depending on how you light it, don't even matter how you light that shit, bro. You need to let whatever you lit it with, let that shit get away from it. Like shit, butane, like shit, you don't want the butane, to be in the taste or whatever. You wouldn't know if you don't got no sophisticated palate like that, but Anyway, you need at least 3 to 5 hits, to be able to discern the flavors and the taste that's going on, with a marijuana, whatever, whatever. So that's a sidebar. But anyway, so I'm smoking this shit and I'm like, damn, like on the front end, I don't know, like just kind of I still don't know the genetics at this point. I still don't know the genetics at this point because I haven't looked. But so like I'm smoking and the front end flavor, you know, for some reason my palate just ignored it. And the back end flavor was just thumping hard, to where I'm like, damn, like the back end was tasting like a hash burgery, like funky, musty type, type deal. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? Like shit. Couldn't quite put my finger on it, So I'm like, I need to see the genetics of it, So I look up the genetics of it. And so the Cadillac Rainbow is runts crossed with Pure Michigan. Like literally two of my favorite strains, bro. Like two of my favorite strains. The Pure Michigan, and that Pure Michigan on the back end is just bumping, bro. Like hitting hard to the motherfucker, bro. And the front end. So now, once I know the genetics, and I'm not so focused on that back end, that back end thumping hard on that Pure Michigan. If you ever smoke Pure Michigan, it's just got this super unique, like basement dank flavor type, bro. It's hard to explain, Like it's just a dank. Like when somebody say dank, I think of Pure Michigan. Like that's what the smell of dank is. If you don't know, like, so I'm telling you right now, dank is like the Pure Michigan smell. Like get you some Pure Michigan, smell that, smoke that, and then you'll understand what dank is. All right. But yeah, so now, like I said, so now I finally got over, the back end. So now I'm like the front end, and like it's a brunch, and it has like that sweet, like a sweet taste, a sweet candy type taste, Like, oh, and I gotta tell y'all about, hold on, give me a second, give me one second, give me one sec. All right, yo, we back. We back. All right. Shit, but anyway, yeah. But anyway, so like it's the runts, and it's just like a sweet candy type on the front, and then a dank on the back. Not candy gas, candy dank. Like it's a whole different ball game. Like candy dank, I don't know, candy dank. you know. And then too, so now too, so this the Cadillac Rainbow I have rolled up here. That's the whole thing. This is what I'm smoking right now. The Cadillac Rainbow. I got it rolled up in a Bodega Boy cone with the reusable ceramic tip. You know, boom. Also available at Ganja House. They come. These is pretty dope. They come six in a pack. Six in a pack. Oh, give me one second. But all right. Like I said, we at Streamhouse right now. We getting some work done. Y'all don't worry about it. But they come six in a pack though. They come six in a pack. They come like this. That's that's what they look like. They come in a tube. They come with the ceramic tip. That's really nice. If you ever smoke shorties from the Bodega Boys, they're kind of like that, but just a little bit bigger. It has a reusable ceramic tip on the end. That's super nice. I like to click them against my teeth. You can't hear that, but whatever. Comes with like a reusable doob tube, which is also super nice. You know, on the end, comes with a little pink stuffer thing. Well, a little pink stopper thing. So nothing comes through while you're waiting. Also comes with like a poker. A little poker. And Blaze with the Bodega Boys, little Bodega Boy thing. So you can bow out. And yeah, that's Cadillac Rainbow. Like if you can get your hands on Cadillac Rainbow, so like I'm saying, it gotta be the right cultivar that grows that shit. You know, like you can have some experiences, with some flower that the same strain, but grown by different people, with a completely different outcome, completely different taste profile, completely different bud structure. You know what I'm saying? Like whole different. But then too, I want to now. Okay, now too, strawberry Smuckers. Strawberry Smuckers. So I was just telling y'all like candy gas. That's our candy, yeah, candy gas. What everybody wanting. I just explained to y'all. Cadillac Rainbow is candy dank. So strawberry Smuckers is like okay when people say so. I'm gonna be honest. When people say gas, I think they just mean weed. They don't mean like the gasoline taste or the gasoline type smell. I have a strawberry Smuckers in right now that is like berry gas. So like it has like a crispness when you smoke it on like the front end. That's kind of like biting into a crisp apple, but instead of the apple flavor, it's like a light sweet berry flavor. And then the back end, that shit is like straight up gasoline, not gas, gasoline. Like you just like almost like you had touched some like you went to the gas pump and had a little bit of gas on the handle or something and got on your finger and you wiped it off and then about 5 minutes later you still smell that little gas smell from it being on your fingers. That's what it tastes and smell like. You know, it is quite unique, quite unique. Of course, all of these available at Ganja House. You know, right now, available at Ganja House. Uh, Shoot. But that's this right here is that Cadillac Rainbow, you know? Um, yeah. So that's what it is. We've been live, for like about 30 minutes. About 30 minutes, we've been live. Like shit. I guess this could be like the first episode for real. It's kind of just like a test. And I'm just seeing, like what the fuck. You know what I'm saying? We could have a guest. I could slide over. We could have a guest right here. I've been kind of, playing around, still kind of playing around with how I want the actual set to be. You heard? But and two, let me tell y'all too how to taste weed. Cause y'all, I mean, you got first of all to be able to taste weed properly, you have to be able to do a French inhale first and foremost, or you can't taste it, bro. You can't taste it. I don't care if you just smoke it in and then blow it out. You ain't tasting it, bro. It's this shit like wine, bro. You know, and that's another reason why I like to smoke indoors. I smoke in controlled environments because I like the French inhale. And when you be trying to French inhale outside, the wind come in and just take all your little smoke away. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, there was a few things that's going on in Oklahoma right now as far as the marijuana shit. The prepackage is a big deal. you know, I think it's gonna definitely force it's gonna force everybody to kind of change the way that they have been doing business. You know, like the growers and stuff. Obviously they got to prepackaged shit, and it's right now. They're like, is we doing eighths? Is we doing quarters? Is we doing halves? Is we doing ounces? Nobody's doing grams. I mean, I know one place doing grams, but grams is gonna be dead, bro. Grams are gonna be dead, bro. That shit. If you want grams, you buy a pre roll. I mean, like shit. That's the only thing I could think of, bro. But yeah, it's gonna change everybody. The whole landscape, bro. The growers, the dispensaries, and the customer. The growers obviously got to process everything, bag that shit up. Us as dispensaries, it's gonna change. It ain't gonna change how I buy, because like I keep it fresh, but like these bigger places that buy, you know, 12, 13 pounds of, one strain and shit, bro. Like, yeah, bro. I don't know, like shit. Y'all don't do no quality control. Well, I ain't gonna say y'all, whatever. Other places they don't do no quality control when it comes to their flour, and they buying off a price. They buying off a price and probably off a brand name. Like and yeah, y'all gonna be buying. Just be sitting on some stuff that's bad, and then you're gonna have 500 uh or 5,000 units of some shit that's booth in a bag, and you can't sell it, and it's continuously getting worse. Like, yeah, y'all gonna have to do some quality control. You know what I'm saying? Shit, the quality control we did, like shit. I smoke shit that I smoke. I smoke everything. I smoke everything. So the shit that the shit that my customers get, bro, is A1. They picking flavor profiles, not if that shit is good or not. You know what I'm saying? Like shit. I ain't even gonna give y'all all the game or whatever, but like shit, like I smoke everything. I don't buy nothing. Like I just explained to y'all, like shit, how like the process is, bro. Like I smoke everything, before I buy that shit. So like, yeah. If y'all watching, I don't know, I got two viewers. I know I'm one of them on here, but whoever, everyone type something in the chat and let me see something. If you look and type something in the chat. Oh yeah, shout out, I'm saying? Shout out to God's house, man. You know what it is, man. Proud of my team. Proud of my team. My team, me and Bay, bro. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Oh shit, that's dope. Look at that. It's like I'm in front of that shit. Look at that shit. What about that? Oh yeah, look at that. The string house. This the logo and shit. You know what I'm saying? Oh damn. I got the. I'll probably pull that up some. You see in that corner over there, green screen kind of up. Gotta edit that. Move the camera down. Shit, you know. We the first one. Oh no, no. Damn, if I wanted to bring somebody in on this stream versus that was not here, how would I do that? All right, So I think we may end the stream. Shoot, this one of the shows, we gonna have going. Does it okay, it doesn't react the same way on that one versus this one. Like I can Vanna White that bitch. But yeah, you know what it is. This was just a live little test. I'm probably gonna leave this shit up, see if I can edit this shit. Or see, use Opus and see how it edit this shit. We gonna play with this shit. All right. We gonna transition out though correctly. Correctly.